Barefoot, try to fit each step into the oversized footprints, marching toward an unknown place, but maybe that suits us better. Blind anticipation, reading the indentions in the dirt like a nursery rhyme, we're following the leader wherever he may go. We did not make ourselves this way. We learn by imitation, from our first syllables to our first steps. We are who we follow. There's something comforting about that kind of footprint faith. The decisions are already ground into the earth. We follow until the path is washed away, but even then we carry it with us between our toes. Make it a game. Splash into each puddle until we are the path itself, and we keep playing, keep following. Simon says jump, we jump. Simon says stop, we stop. Simon says look away, we look away. Simon says close your eyes, we close our eyes. We play dress up with a condemned man's clothes. There's costumes and crowns, hiding a crucifixion behind a corrupt coronation, speaking about an imaginary nation. You're invited to our tea party, but this tea is tasting bitter. Looks like that guy pulled the short straw. Wash your hands and don't think about it so hard. It's just the game. We're following the leader wherever he may go. Sticks and stones may break your bones. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Everyone is chanting, but these ropes aren't used for skipping. Still we keep playing. Follow the leader. I'm Simon and you're Simon, but nobody is Simon, and it really can't be just a game anymore. These footprints leading somewhere darker than we wish to go, but we followed. Forgive us, for we know not what we do.
Darkness defines me. The voices of 10,000 days echo in my head. Harsh memories, harsh judgments, reminding me of the wrong things I have done and the right things I have left undone. This wandering, homeless path of my life is behind me. where sharp rocks and hidden holes defied every good step I took. The darkness deepens. The voices become more brittle. They crack and break into grit and gravel, fall down upon my shoulders, ragged and sharp, biting at my body. The path before me is almost done. A few stumbling steps remain. I fall forward, finally, but I'm caught, and I'm held by someone I know or someone I have never known. Why do I seem to recognize this one whom I have never met? Why does he stand with me, this one who is so different than me? Go on, I say. Your kindness is welcome, but wasted. Nothing is ahead for me except the ground upon which I will fall. But now this rough path seems to become smooth. The air is sweeter, softly lit, and he is still here. And he tells me that we are very near our resting place. Go on, I say. I will remember your kindness. Will you remember me? My life is now colored by this one perfect memory. At this, the end of my path, I am on my knees, but I'm not alone. He is here, telling me we have reached our home, and there is room for me. For me. I'm grateful, for I have reached the home I never had, to be with those I've never known. But they know me, and they love me, and the light has defeated my darkness.
Well, my friend, we live with the shattered. Time ago, the song was complete. We were young, the canvas before us, before tears followed our feet. Well, my friends, we studied the pieces, wrestling, turning, each one in my mind. Some sharp to touch, some edges are softened, some too heavy to leave behind. How do we make our mosaic together? How do we shape trial by fire? How do we find peace with the fragments, ever changing with the tide? Well, my friends, the chasm is o'er us. Echoes sing, will quiet the night. Let us whisper, simple and hopeful, to carry us into time. How do we make our mosaic together? How do we shape trial by fire? How do we find peace with the fragments, ever changing with the tide? Let us make our mosaic together. We can shape trial by fire. We will find peace, the fragments together, ever changing with the tide. Ever changing with the tide. We are changing with the tide.
Woman, behold your son. Son, behold your mother. World, behold your children. Behold your parents. Behold each other. Behold each other. Behold while we're 6 or 10 feet apart. Behold while we sacrifice for the greater good. Behold while we aid those now struggling with no income. Behold exhausted healthcare workers bruised and sore. Behold when we're scared. Behold when we're alone. Behold when we're grieving. A last commandment. Behold each other. Behold.
My name is Willie Francis. A poem by Jeff Daisy. In 1945, a 16-year-old African-American boy named Willie Francis was accused of murdering a pharmacist in southwest Louisiana. Willie Francis stood trial, was convicted, and sentenced to death. In May of 1946, Willie became the only known person to survive the electric chair. Despite what seemed to be divine intervention, the state of Louisiana fought hard to carry out Willie's execution. Willie's case went all the way to the United States Supreme Court. By a 5-4 vote, the United States Supreme Court ruled that placing Willie back on the electric chair was not cruel and unusual punishment. This poem is an impressionistic collage inspired by Willie's story and his words. His name was Willie Francis. He was a tall, lanky, 15-year-old boy, a simple boy with a stutter. He loved to cook for his family, collard greens and side meats. His smile was wide and easy. He used to play with little children, even when he was a big boy. My God, why have you abandoned me? It was a secret about me and him, was all Willie ever told, of an incident between Willie and the town pharmacist, a friendly man who gave Willie odd jobs. There was an interaction in his storage room, and how he took a child and made him old. My God, why have you abandoned me? This is your chance to die like a man, Father Hannigan told the then 17-year-old boy the night before his first execution. Dying like a man was important to the boy who would never become a man. But Willie was terrified. His stutter-stammer rendered him mute. Father Hannigan pressed on. Tomorrow, the boy must face his death bravely and start a new life. My God, why have you abandoned me? Willie woke to a clatter and a guard with a razor. Then they shaved Willie's head to fit his crown of steel. They took him from his cell and drove him back home in handcuffs and introduced him to gruesome Gertie. But Willie named it the bad chair. 13 steps left to the wanton wooden throne. No family to meet him. Willie sat all alone. The whiskey-soured executioner growled and scolded. Willie tried to speak, but a stutter stopped him cold. My God, why have you abandoned me? The crown fit him close, the metal so cold, so too the steel crucifix. They told him to kiss. A sudden movement behind him, and Willie tried to flinch. A rough black leather hood clung tight to his face and blinded his eyes, and his breath felt warm, fast and shallow. The generator roared to life, and the stones of the very walls seemed to cry out, my God, why have you abandoned me? Like the shines in a rooster's tail, death looked like little blue and pink and green speckles. The child groaned and strained against the coarse leather straps as 100 and 1,000 needles and pins pricked him. His lips swelled grotesque, right through the dark hooded slit. His body jerked and surged and seized. My God, why have you abandoned me? He's still breathing. Give him more juice. Take it off. I'm giving it all I've got. Willie gasped and summoned one final stuttered cry. I'm not dying. My God, why have you abandoned me? The current stopped and Willie sunk low into his chair. The generator died. The room fell into silence. How strange, Willie thought, for even in death, he could still feel hands all over his fragile, living child's body. I'm not dead, Willie thought. The chair did not kill me. My God, why have you abandoned me? Of course I'm not a killer, Willie etched in the walls of his cell. Another date circled on the calendar. Another friendly white man, the town lawyer who took Willie's case. all the way to the United States Supreme Court, and brought back candy and magazines and more bad news of more bad chairs. Who would think, Willie asked, that one Negro boy could get all those big men to talk about him? My God, why have you abandoned me? 1 year later, 2 days before Mother's Day, Willie's mother waited and hoped, bedridden at home, 5 short blocks from the squat, ugly stone jail, where the bad chair waited for Willie. Never thought my baby would be going to die there again. He's told me he's ready, but I ain't ready at all. My God, why have you abandoned me? I'm wearing my Sunday pants and my Sunday heart to the chair, Willie said with an uncertain grin. Ain't going to wear no beat-up pants to see the Lord. 13 paces again separated Willie from his cell to the bad chair. One by one, his brothers and his sisters told Willie goodbye. We'll see you on the other side. And Willie told them, you folks got to be brave. You just got to be brave. And this time Willie did not stutter. Willie wanted to die a man, but instead, Willie died like a man. And out of the shadow his eyes implore us, my God, why have you abandoned me? All was ended now. The hope, the fear, the sorrow, all the aching of heart, the restless, unsatisfied longing. Willie's 62-year-old mother, bedridden no more, staggered 5 long blocks from home to the ugly, squat stone jail, where the generator roared so loud that the stone walls which held her son seemed to cry out, my God, why have you abandoned me? And there by herself she waited, an old weathered Evangeline, beneath the old weathered jail oak. In a dull, deep pain and constant anguish of patience, for the miracle that would not come this time. And when she walked home, grass grew in the streets. My God, why have you abandoned me?
When you are gone to me, I will hear your echo. When you are gone to me, I will feel your shadow. When you are gone to me, I will know the imprint you have made on the center and the edges of my life. Once you were home to me, I could feel the splendor. Once you were home to me, I could breathe the shelter. Once you were home to me, I could know the moorings our stayed on the center and the edges of my heart. will feel your shadow. When you are gone to me, I will know the imprint you have made on the center and the edges of my life. When you are gone to me, I will hear your echo. When you are gone to me, I will feel your shadow. When you are gone to me, I will know the imprint you have made on the center and the edges of my life. On the center and the edges of my life.
Dad, I'm thirsty.
That's what Jesus said on the cross.
I knew you were going to say that.
How?
You always say that.
It's an everlasting truth. And also, what I'm saying is he was nailed to the cross at the time, so he couldn't really walk through a refrigerator like you could. But think about what he meant by that. I mean, thirsty for what? He lived his entire life working for justice.
Okay, Dad.
It sounds like an expression of sadness, disappointment, unfinished business. He was only, what, 30, 33? And here he was nailed to a cross. Not much work you can do for justice nailed to a cross, right?
Well, there's that whole died for your sins thing.
Right, died for, well, we don't really say it like that. It's not so much about taking the place of our wicked selves.
Because we're not wicked?
Yeah, because it's more about this world than the next.
Uh-huh.
He died longing for more justice, righteousness.
Righteousness, what is that?
And belonging. He wanted people to belong. He thirsted for community.
Really? He thirsted for community? Really? Maybe that's just you.
Yeah, it's me and Jesus.
Dad,
Yes.
I think when Jesus said that, what he wanted was water.
Oh,
And Dad,
yes.
that's what I want too.
Oh, so you're Jesus now?
Dad!
Here, for you, some water.
In my trials, Lord, be with me. In my trials, Lord, won't you be with me? In my trials, Lord, be with me. Send your spirit here, I need you to be with me. In my sorrow, Lord, stand with me. In my sorrow, Lord, won't you stand with me? In my sorrow, Lord, won't you stand with me? Send your spirit here, I need you to stand with me. In my loss and confusion, don't let me go. Your loving arms around me, I can't see, but I know. In my sorrow, Lord, you will stand with me. In my sorrow, Lord, you will stand with me. In my sorrow, Lord, you will stand with me. With your spirit here, you will guide and stand with me. When I am sinking down, Lord, you will strengthen me. When I am sinking down, Lord, you will strengthen me. When I am sinking down, Lord, you will strengthen me. With your spirit here, you will guide and strengthen me. With your spirit here, you will guide and strengthen me.
Crematories, now released from restrictions, are allowed to run around the clock, the text read online. Refrigerated trucks sit behind hospitals with forklifts and body bags. This will be the hardest week, they say, again. There were voices among us, those who danced, made music, taught children, makers of stories, magic, justice, and love. There was a baby, full of hope and newness.
It is with heartbreaking sadness today that we can confirm the first pediatric fatality in Connecticut linked to COVID-19. A 6-week-old newborn from the Hartford area was brought unresponsive to a hospital late last week and could not be revived.
But their voices are silent now, with no proper way to celebrate them, mourn them, honor them.
Des-Anne Romaine, a teacher and principal who set an example for her students by her vibrancy and perseverance on Monday, became the first employee of the New York Public City Schools known to have died from complications of the coronavirus, according to the city's Department of Education. She was 36.
And so we sit, frozen in place, mouths covered, hands gloved.
April Dunn, an advocate for people with disabilities who worked for the governor of Louisiana, died of complications of the coronavirus on Saturday in Baton Rouge. She was 33.
What if we cannot make sense of this? What if there are no lessons to learn? What if there are no stories to share? What if there is no peace or understanding? What if all we have is our anger? What if all we have is our grief?
Ms. Borjas, a tireless activist who drew on her own experiences as an immigrant transgender woman to help others, died on Monday at a hospital in Brooklyn. She was 59.
What if all we're left with is death, then life?
It is finished, he said. With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit.
inspired by the book of Luke, 23rd chapter, 46th verse. Another Easter season arrives, and we struggle to embrace that cleansing sacrifice which has saved our human race. Our hearts may be full of thankfulness and delight, but our minds are intertwined with our world's current plight. A perplexing, vexing virus has consumed our daily life with around-the-clock coverage of present and pending strife. This COVID-19 has proven itself among the deadliest of diseases. Unrestricted in reach, it has spread as it pleases. Our response to the pandemic is to shelter at home, to flatten the curve, and restricting its roam. That strategy, while wise, appears inopportune to conduct Easter services anytime soon. Does our inability to gather and worship in person offend our Father? If it heightens our risk, why should we even bother? These are the questions that consume my thought. Do I do as I should? Do I do as I ought? I fail, but I try to live my life a certain way, to testify by my acts towards my neighbor each day. For guidance, I'm consistent, performing my due diligence in consulting the Word to maintain my vigilance. In my unending quest in seeking His divine direction, my heart says social distancing still offers connection. We carry our faith as we traverse our life's journeys. That doesn't mean taking risk that will land us on gurneys. I believe, as Christ did, that we should declare our faith in His will. With God's grace, we'll get through this humbly, mercifully, until one day this scourge has been purged from all lands. I pray, Father, I entrust my spirit into your hands.